All right. Hello and welcome back for week number 2. 1 down, 10 to go as we kick off our second week of play here with a pretty fun Prism matchup. Now, of course, it is a full night, so don't fall away from that, as we do have 4 games total. Starting out with this Prism bout and then swapping over to Pixel for our last 3. So Prism might get us started, but Pixel has plenty of action as well. And let us look to our schedule for the week. You can see Round Rock Houston, probably the game to watch. Miami Steinhatchee could be interesting after the results of last week, although I think the Scallops are definitely still favorites. Wave should just win. This one could be interesting. And then the last two, kind of similar. They could be fun. As let's look over to our standings. Kind of like we said, Miami finding their way up top. Did play Kyoto, but looked pretty good against them. Meanwhile, the Scallops played a close game against Houston, but just kind of fell at the last hurdle. So I think definitely a chance that Miami do something, but I think it's also probably just as possible that Scallops find their form and just take them down. But once again, obviously week 2, there's a little bit more to talk about with the standings. Everyone has a record, but it's still 6 tied at 1-0, 6 tied at 0-1. Woo, So we can move right past this, as we do, though, now have stats. You can see Vice and Boston, your key players. JM, of course, not getting games played. Like, as far as the game, they have until 10 minutes from when I send out the lobby info, which was 7. So they have until 7:10 to be a forfeit, unless you guys agree to give them extra time. So if once it hits 7:10, you guys could take a forfeit since you agreed on this time. But if you agree to push back to like 7:15 or whatever, then that's fine. You know? But at that point, you would have the power if it reaches 7:10. But while that gets figured out and stuff, we can keep looking at this. Is Jam not getting any stats as he was not able to attend their last game. And of course, it was only a 3-0 sweep, but you can see a very high saves per game for OKC, showing that they did play good defense, just weren't really able to get the threat on offense. Meanwhile, on the other side, you can see pretty good offensive stats as well, and the higher demos for Florida. As Florida, like I said in the Discord, I mean, Vice called me out, kind of hating a little bit, saying they should be weaker, but what I meant is should be weaker than Wave, and that is purely a roster statement. Because this team wasn't expected to be that high, maybe, especially given the fact that they stated that they were just kind of having fun. So, maybe question marks around that, but then they rock up and look really good against a Lincoln squad that's expected to be in the top half. So I think Florida definitely surprising, putting their name up there. But question is, can they keep it up and can they do it more? I think on paper, OKC weaker than Lincoln, but there's fluctuations, especially with what Vice is saying in the chat, which we know they're doing. Maybe the gameplay isn't as organized, There's a lot of variation with this team that I think what they've proven is that at least against the upper middle, of course we haven't seen them against Houston, Round Rock, Steinhatchee, that group, but at least against the upper middle, this is an upset team that they very easily could compete in that range, or they very easily could not, but they can definitely take series off them. So, we'll see. Meanwhile, on the other side, of course, OKC, first series with their main roster, or else they drafted and want to play with. Trying to bounce back from a rough loss. Like I said, this Florida team on paper should be an easier matchup than that Wave team, but you can't take them lightly, especially after last week. So I think Florida, obviously, 1 week in, have the better stats because they played an extra game and won. So, but I definitely think this will be an important for where both teams stand. I think Lemon wants to win just because he is. Lemon, I'm sure, wants to win. Florida probably don't want to lose to Lemon, so there is stakes in that way. But at the same time, again, Florida got a big win last week. If they want the confidence as well as they're having fun, they probably want to win this one, which should be a weaker game. Meanwhile, on the other side for OKC, obviously, if you lose this, it isn't over. But especially if you want to actually compete and try to be up towards the top, you definitely want to be able to take down a team like this, So it's only week 2. It's definitely not breaking their team either way, but still one that it feels like you want to win. That's not good. But anyway, we do have both teams have shown up, so we are just now waiting on one person to join back into the lobby. But we do know they're here, and so we should be getting into this one shortly. As far as a prediction, I'm going to go with Florida. I think a somewhat close but sweep versus a good team, a top team, losing versus a convincing win over a upper team. I have to give it to Florida. I think the results that are there just look stronger. But as we said, we haven't seen OKC with Jam. This Florida team could fluctuate, and I don't see either of these as completely clearing the other. So, hoping we're in for a good game. I'm leaning Florida. Score lines are tough. Either way, though, we're loading in game number 1 of week number 2. Bit of a kickoff strategy there as we see Vice go for it. Now, Woodles will get the save away, but Boston will keep the pressure on. We have Florida in orange, OKC in purple, both in their primaries. So let's see. Of course, Florida were in teal last week against the Sentinels, so maybe that color really going to mess with them. Although I'm sure most use force default anyway. Vice trying to jump up for this one. Jam able to pinch it away. Now Latumos off the left wall. Can't get back to it, but there's a big miss. And Latumos will walk it in. 1-0. The Ospreys score first. Latumos plays it off the left side. Boston, I think he got bumped out of the way. It looked a lot worse in real time. But either way, it's a window that the Ospreys will take. And they get the first blood here. This one now pitched across. Boodle's chasing it down, but Jam will take it away off the sidewall. Now down from the ceiling again. Jam lets it go. Faked out by Latumos. He's trying to cut, but Boston will 50 it out. Boston back on it. I think Boston definitely one of the standouts of their last week game. Played pretty well around the field, and I think some of the best games we saw from them were when Lemon was keeping up the pressure as well, but Boston definitely deserving that key player best stats title after that first game. As this one's around from Jam, looking for a pass down, finds it, Boston's there, but Woodles makes a save. Now dropping over to the left side, Latumos up towards ceiling, passes it across, looking to get back to it, fakes down low, but Jam dunks it away. Back up to the ceiling again. Latumos tries for the pass back. Vice awkward, does get a piece, looks for the bump, but Lemon does get the save. Woodles now back to Latumos, bang dead center. Jam saves, but it's straight up in the air. Vice will score it 2-0. Florida double their advantage. All 3 jump, and the save is lacking. Good placement on the follow-up by Vice to make sure, but that was a pretty open net. Florida expand on their lead. 1.5 played. Not what OKC wanted to start out with, as Jam able to dunk that one away. Vice now moving in next. Pops up in the air. Gets the reset. Bump comes through, though. And Jam will get the save. Now Lemon, so awkward. Bumped off. Latumo slows it down. Woodles zoning Boston. Jam will block it away from Vice, and so OKC do survive. The pressure's building until Boston finally gets it away. Jam now jumps in, able to get a bump, but it'll still work into the corner. Vice around the outside, trying to get the clear away. It'll bounce down from the ceiling. Latumo's already there. Great redirect. But it's right at Lemon, and he will make another save. Now Woodle flips past one. Lemon off the corner, but no one there except Vice. And it's another Florida clear. He knocks that one down. Lemon will pop it right back up. He'll go from the sidewall out of boost, playing the fake. Gets by one. But Latumos does make the save. Dropping down again. It's Jam trying to get it forward. Still staying with it, but not quite there. This one dropping down. It'll roll around the outside. Trying to 50 it through. Not able to get there. Jam trying to center it again. Vice will just pop it up in the air, but Jam could cut back in. Down for the ceiling. Boston in the air. Puts it wide, but it's well read by Latumos, and they get it away. So Lemon trying to 50 it across. Close again, but not quite in. Jam going for the must-see, gets it off the backboard, gets the double, but the pre-jump isn't there. A great pass, but they try to pre-jump it, and it doesn't quite connect. Now Boston in the air again, though. Double tap, drop down off the back wall. Lemon pre-flip. Latumo saves again. So much threat, but not quite dangerous enough. And Jam lets that one go. He'll lose his life, but Boston gets to clear, and Lemon gets to pass off the backboard. Now Boston's in the air again. He'll drop it down straight dead center. Latumos is there to catch. Jam now forces it into the corner again. OKC have set up shop in this half, and yet they can't break the goal line. And Latumos forces it the other way again. The pressure flips immediately, and Florida immediately so threatening. Of course, they won't score either. It remains 2-0, 1 minute to play. Time starting to become a bit of a constraint here for the Phantoms. Under 1 minute to go. Great reset by Latumos. He'll get the pop pass as well. No one's there to shoot, but Boston touches right at Vice. Now at 50, Woodles. He'll play off the corner. It'll bounce out to Latumos. He'll go straight up. He'll go to the backboard. Fake on the double. Vice scores again. I think if he hits it down, it does go in. Just goes over it, but it goes straight back to Vice anyway. And he adds one more. Once again, clean on the placement. And it's now 3-0 for Florida. 45 seconds to go. Starting to look dire for OKC in this first game. They start with a bit of push, but they lose it immediately. Vice might just do it again. Jim will get a save for the moment, but Woodles is already in the air. Still him and Boston both miss, and it's Lemon to get the next save away. Now up to the ceiling, it drops down. Vice trying to get the clear. Fake by one. Woodles will block it out. This one dropping down. Woodles trying to bang it away, but it'll drop back down. Latumos will redirect forward. Boston will pinch it out to the side. Clock will expire. They might add one more. They won't quite yet, though, but the result is set in stone. Florida take down the first game. They do continue with the momentum, and they do start out in front as the Ospreys take a convincing Game 1 win as they close it out with a 3-0 shutout. Give me a minute to get things switched over and send something somewhere, and then we'll jump into our next one. I think for OKC, obviously you need to clean up the defense, but as we say in all of these shutouts, at the end of the day, you can't score if you don't. Well, you can't win if you don't score, is what I'm trying to say here. So, I think you definitely need to cut down on how many you're conceding, but you definitely need to get some on the board. All right, I think that should be good. And so we are about ready to move forward. There's a lot of chatting going on. I did not read it. So I didn't see what was going on in the chat, but, we'll see. I can guess what it was about, I think. I think I can guess, but unsure. As it seems we did not get everyone transferring over to the next game, so we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, OKC had some good moments. They had definitely periods in there where you could see them pushing forward, getting a good bit of pressure, and starting to look scary. but they just weren't quite on the level to score. And then in other moments, Florida would just get a clear and find a way through. So I think in a mostly Florida-favored game, there were definitely moments of OKC pressure that show you that they can fight back in this series, but they need to tune it in a little bit. And then, of course, need to lock in a little bit on the defense, but they're not getting a good start at that one because Woodles is already scoring. He just centers it. Boston heavy on the touch, tries to let it drop, and Woodles just pops it by him. Jam does get the demo, but the ball's already in his net. And it's 1-0 for the Ospreys again. Jam pops it up in the air. Woodles tap dead down the center. Latumos running on. I think bumped by Lemon. Clean play to keep that one out, but it's Vice up in the air again. Jam trying to drop it down. Latumos are on the outside. Vice waiting too low. And only pass it back towards Woodles. Now Woodles off the back wall. This one jumping around. Latumos cleared away. Woodles will have to chase it down. He'll go off the right side. Boston can't get there. Woodles will get another clear forward. Jam up in the air. Gets it to the back wall. Trying to get it out, but it's Latumos with a long clear. Lemon trying to drop this one down. Pop to the right. Jam not able to chase on it, and so Florida should get to this, but actually no one there, although Lemon puts it right back down on Vice. A little bit scary there, but as we move into Florida's half, we are just going to watch it get cleared away. But Latumos, another 1-1 forward. Now it drops down again. Lemon, another kick out into the corner. Latumos trying to pass it out. Woodles diving in. Good placement, but Boston able to dive back. This one around the outside. Woodles blocked to the side by Lemon again. Now up in the air. Lemon trying to get there, and Latumos already in the air, but Boston makes a save. A lot of Florida pressure here, and there you see it again. Boston tries to free jump, but just goes too high, and it immediately kills the play, plus results in what should be a goal against them. It is own goal by an OKC player in the end. Vice centered it, and there was a player there to score it. As you can see, Latumos trailing right behind, as it is actually a pull shot. Latumos bumping Boston into it, but I mean, of course, you could say Lemon's too far forward, but that's just the risk you take. When you commit every one of those pre-jumps, they need to connect, or else there's no one back to defend. So it just seems like OKC are playing a risky brand of Rocket League and not quite executing. So this one will drop down again. Woodles trying to wait with it. It'll bounce back down. Tumos off the corner. Woodles pops it up in the air, but Lemon dives in and takes it away. Lemon on it again. Loses out on the 50 device. Now Boston another win forward. Latumos up high in the air. Jam. Reset. Looking for another touch. Gets by them all, and Lemon will get the first goal. There you go. OKC on the board. Right, a bit of an overcommit that time by the Florida defense. Pretty open gap there. It just gets sent through. Now this one cleared over to Lemon again. He'll try to wait under it. He'll jump up. He'll try to knock it down. It's in front of the goal line, but Woodles will get it saved away. Out to the side again. Jam dives by. Boston lateral on the touch. Vice's shot. Lemon saves. It's over them all. Now Jam will try to chase it down, and the placement is immaculate. He was a little bit slow to get back to it, but when he does, he absolutely slots that directly off the top left corner, and it's a tie game. OKC even it up. Although Florida trying to push forward again here. This one blocked away by Boston. Waiting on the sidewall, trying to jump up for it, but won't end up getting a whole lot with it. Knocked up in the air. This one caught by Lemon. He'll try to get back for a reset, but it's dunked away by Woodles. Now one downfield again. The circle back is Boston. He will make the save, though. To continue to press. Now they've lost their lead. They're the ones who kind of feel pressure to score. Of course, OKC still do need the win more, but momentum starting to turn against the Ospreys. You see a double demo there by Boston, and it gets turned around again. This one off the left side, falls to Vice, he'll bang it forward. Latumos is there, Jams there faster. Lemon now, catch down, dunk out. Everyone's on top of each other, and they just got to let it go back. Boston will pop it up in the air again, though. Latumos redirect back. Demo barely misses on Vice, and now Jams up too far again. Feels like the third man just way too aggressive for OKC as that last touch beats Boston as well. Lemon now backwards, has to get a touch up in the air, but it's right at Woodles. He'll knock it down, but it's not forward, and Vice will have to slow down for a moment. Still, he'll pinch by one, and it's low boost on Jam. Pop is right back to Latumos. He'll try to get it out, but he's late on the pass, and no one's there. Jam now another 50 away. It's Vice to jump up for it. And Woodles to get it away. Florida just kind of finding space, finding that control. And they have found themselves an advantage again as Latumos has a shot, but it's blocked away wide. Woodles, though, that one's true. Sent home by Latumos. We called out the advantage. How about a goal? Latumos can't put it on target, but it pops right back out to his teammate, who finds him once more, and Florida are able to get another goal on the board. Vice trying to win this one forward, dropping for a reset. Instead, just a touch off the back wall. Latumos there again. 4-2. Momentum erased and reversed. This one off the side, it's popped forward. Lemon scores. It's just popped across. It falls right down to him, and he just sends it in. So with 11 seconds to go, this one's not quite over. Woodles off the corner again, trying to follow it, but it's Lemon to send it away. By spinning it forward, now upfield. Latumos sends it back. That one will drop. Florida are challenged, but they do not lose the game. Ospreys battle back to put up 2 straight, and in the end they take it 4-3. So OKC have played it close, but they've been unable to get a lead thus far, as they pretty much twice in that game went down by 2 and tried to fight back. They succeeded the first time. They could not the second time. And so Florida do just close out the game and are now 1 away from a series win. And of course, for OKC, you are now 1 game away from being 0-6 on the season. Again, especially it was a rough week 1 matchup. And now maybe your first time playing together, you're just not clicking as we're seeing. But, I mean, you got to lock in soon, especially if you want to get a game win on the board. But we'll see as we load in here. Game number 3 on Urban Central. Florida 1 away from a sweep. But OKC don't want to give up yet. And we have seen Vice change color in every game. I will call that out, and now it's Vice on this one, but Boston takes it away. He'll drop down. He's there. He can't get it. Lemon will try, but Latumos wins it. Vice has an open net. He will score. OKC overcommit again and get scored on again. 1-0 for the Ospreys. It could have been clean, but the boost tank runs empty for Boston. And he can only watch as both of his teammates dive forward to no avail. And instead, the field opens up for their opponents. This one now dropped down. Boston able to get another block on it. Now Boston trying to roll it down the sideline. Noodles waiting, gets the touch, waiting for the play. Lemon gets it off the back wall. Jam trying to dive in, he'll get beat. Boston was off the ceiling, not going to get anything for that. Look, waiting under it. Lemon this time off the ceiling. He's a full tank of boost for a bump. As now Boston loses that 50. This one around the outside. It just feels like they're getting the wrong read on how to play the game. You know, especially this isn't to disrespect Florida. They're not a team who are going for all sorts of solo plays and high, fast challenges. They're just playing clean. And so I feel like we're seeing far too many pre-jumps, both off the ceiling and for each other's passes. And it's just such a low percentage play that they're losing the roll on every time. As while we're talking about that, Woodles gets another goal. This one was just sent out. Vice tries to shoot, blocked away by Lemon, right back into Woodles. This time he snipes the bottom left corner, and it's 2-0. Trying to cut on this one. Vice playing it forward. And they're on the outside. Skishumers. Now this one forward again. Vice has a shot. Same as Boston. It goes high. It was around the outside. He tries to get it the read off the crossbar, but instead hits the top of his car and bounces straight up. So Vice not going to get goal number 3 as, again, what's Boston doing? Like, Boston has been the best player, and it's not particularly close for OKC. But it feels like the team just needs to calm down, man. Boston, I think, is trying to go too hard to be there for everything, and they're trying to pre-jump each other every time, and Boston's downfield again. Third man needs to learn to sit back. They don't leave a third man back. They're pre-jumping on everything, and a team like Florida is just outplaying them. And it's 3-0. Woodles wins it forward, dunks jam, and it drops down free for Latumos with no one else back. It's just like that. Lemon now wins the challenge, but it's right to Vice. This one's dropping down again. Latumos loses it back into the corner. Boston's already there. He'll go up, he'll go to the ceiling, he'll try to knock it down. He will knock it down to Lemon. They will get one back. Still an uphill battle. 3-1, they're down by 2. But with 2 minutes to play, it is still winnable. Question is, can they do it? Florida have looked far too clean to allow it, you would think. But maybe the winner's tilt settles in, but while I'm struggling to say the word, Woodles is not struggling to score. Latumos kicks it forward. There's no one back. Hey, Boston's off the ceiling again, and it's 4-1. Florida just another goal off the kickoff, off an overcommit. This one very awkward for Florida, but it is just wide. Lemon got bumped into that one, so it will find Jam off the corner again. This one bouncing out. I mean, that one's not throwing. They're not throwing. They're just not playing the game how they should to win, I feel. And I'm not saying they would absolutely win, but it just feels like they're making mistakes for no reason, you know? Lemon pops this one up. This one across. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Boston knows his car has brakes. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's also very different, Merce, but we're not circling back to that every game. Because having a play style that could win you games, but is just not good, just over-speeding himself is different from what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, it feels like Boston has given up on his team and is chasing everything as hard as he possibly can. You know, he has no clue what rotations are. He sees ball, he goes for ball. And now he's hunting, and he's pre-jumped, and it will not get to him. And Lemon tries to redirect, but now, hey, guess what? All 3 are forward. No way. Like, again, they just need to chill. Firmly. I don't think they're intentionally feeding. But yeah, I respect this from Florida, by the way. As Jam gets a goal off it. That's very funny by Florida. I like how they're all spread out too. One at the near post, one at the far post, one at the midfield. Mannequin challenge. Simon will get this one forward. The clock does run out, and this one will fall. Florida. There were moments where it got a little close, but overall dominant as the Ospreys will take a sweep. So, not much. Mers, I'm not going to keep talking about this. You can make an argument that both are, but they're different situations. You can't compare these two things. Like, you cannot compare these two games and be like, see, they're the same. I'm not going to go with that. Yes, the gameplay matters, which this is not the same, and the situation in which it happens is not the same. So, obviously, I'm not saying you can't make an argument that what's happening isn't throwing. I'm not going to say that because I think you probably could. But at the same time, you can't compare the two. But either way, I see a DM. Do I even have to ask? I do not. We are going to have an interview, and we'll be back in just one moment. And we're back with Florida. Pretty convincing. You get a sweep. How does it feel to be 2-0?
Hey, man, the hard work speaks for itself. You know, it's easy to feel good. It's easy, but we're confident because the work speaks for itself. You know what I mean? We're the hardest working team out there. You already know the results don't lie.
Wow, boy. Ole, 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 ole.
Yep.
Lots of hard work, by the way.
Yes, sir.
We've been in the gym putting up shots left and
Oh,
right.
God.
We're in the
You've been in the
lab.
lab?
We're cooking, boy.
Hey, we got our
shit,
playbook.
yeah, what can you say?
They
We
clearly
2-0.
they was
Looking
not
to go
ready
1-0
for it.
next week.
1-0. You mean 3-0?
Nah, but 1-0 next week though.
On God.
1-0 per week. You know, every
No,
week.
we're
we
0-0,
got-
gang.
we go 1-0.
Yeah.
We're 0-0 next week. Come on, boys.
Yeah.
Come on, boy.
Yeah. Every game's a
Gotta
new
make sense.
slate.
Well, I will ask next week. You do play Hanoi. You guys confident for that one?
What'd you ask? Who we facing?
Who?
Yeah, it don't even
Hey,
matter, bro. We
They
just
all
show
fall
up
the
and play.
same. They all fall the same.
Oh, God.
Hey, man, like I said, any opponent is the same opponent. You know, we got our preparation. We got our hard work down. We got our team chemistry playbooks. They're not ready for it. You're asking, are we ready for Hanoi? Is Hanoi ready for us? That's the real fucking question out here. Come on now.
Oh, shit.
You don't like to hear, boy?
Nah, but on a real note, I don't think there's any confidence league. All right, guys, come on. Talk to them nice. Talk to them nice. Talk to them nice.
Hey, you heard the man? Hey, he's gonna stand up to us. Come on now. We 2-0. We need a challenger. Come on now.
So
Your boys ain't ready. Your boys napping.
ready.
Your boys napping. Come on now.
Come on
Hey,
now.
let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
Alright.
Hey, boys, I need to calm. Dogger, you got any other questions, sir?
I'm not sure. Not really a game I can ask about
Yeah.
too much, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask the questions. LA2,
Oh,
you're at the top of
shit.
the fucking league, baby. How you feeling?
I mean, shit.
Come
It
back.
feels expected, bro. It feels planned. Like, this is the shit that we came out to do, so it don't really feel any different when you just knew this was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
Oh, God.
We prepare, and all we have to do is show up and execute. That's really it. Nothing else to it.
That's fair. And the next question, Dogger, you face Atlanta High Flyers this week. How do you feel going into that game?
Yeah, I hope we're gonna win. Need the bounce back. Yeah.
I bet. Well, I got rematch practice. Doggo, I appreciate you streaming. Appreciate the good times, good laughs, you know. Shout out
Appreciate
to
the
boys.
platform. Appreciate
Thanks
the
for
league.
having us on the stream, Big D. Whoa, didn't mean it that
Whoa,
way.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Now that I
whoa,
think about it
whoa, whoa.
twice, I didn't mean it like that. But shit, you know what I'm saying? Big D, we love you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
Yep.
Shit, gang.
Yeah, stay
Congrats
hard,
on the
bro.
win. Good luck, Nick.
Stay hard. Stay
All right, man.
hard.
Peace. Be safe.
There's a lot going on with that team, man. But okay, I don't want to keep harping on this. I don't want to bring up the past. But here's what I have said and will say again for Mers and the chat. Early in the series, OKC looked normal. By game 2, there were pre-jumps. By game 3, Boston was ball chasing without regard for how to play. That, I'm not saying that's normal or that's what should happen. I think you could probably say something was happening for Jam, but it was a lot less obvious if it was. You can't compare this to the Mudcats. I mean, Vice, did you see how Boston was playing? That's why. But Mers, you can't compare this because this is a week 2 game where the underdog is losing. Yours was a week 11 game with direct playoff implications where number 1 lost to number 12 and they were all playing weird in very obvious ways, with you probably being the least. Mers, you are misconstruing what I'm saying on purpose. I'm not saying he's not throwing. I'm saying that they are not comparable in the slightest. And so you can't say if nothing is done here, they just wanted to punish Mudcats for no reason. You know? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there can absolutely be throwing here, and there can absolutely be punishments that happen, but you can't act like these are the exact same situation. Yours is much more provable and much more obvious for certain reasons. But obviously, I think the gameplay here would be more obvious. I think things could possibly happen, and we don't need to keep talking about it. So that's just my point. There can be throwing in both situations, but they are very different situations, and we'll see what's decided. Anyway, focusing back in on the game, we can mainly talk about the early games because, like we're all aware, it felt like the gameplay kind of devolved as it went on otherwise, but it really just felt like Florida played a cleaner game. You know, they had the majority of the pressure. They played clean defense on the chances against them. All of that. So I think it's another well-earned win for Florida as they will stay up near the top of the standings. And on the other side, OKC just really struggling to find any sort of chemistry, any sort of consistent form. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say much else, but that'll do it for our first game of the night. Like we said, there are 3 more, all in the Pixel League. Next one is at 8 o'clock, and so the stream will be live in about 10 minutes for the game in 20. Then after that, we have one at 9:30 and 10:30. So plenty more action to tune back in for. Make sure you don't go anywhere, but your final score here, Florida 3, OKC 0. We'll see you in just a little bit.